I'd just like to welcome everyone that's showing up in the participants to the International Women's Day with Standard Chartered. We have our 5 winning teams from the last cohort, from the 2020 cohort, and I'm very pleased to have them all with us today. My name is Susie Zira, and I'm the head of communications and events for Bahrain FinTech Bay. And I'm sure a lot of you know about what we do, Bahrain FinTech Bay. We're very excited to have today the finalists here that have been. It's been quite a while since they graduated, and we're here to learn about all the things that they've done since the actual launch of the initial event back in 2020. Just to give you an overview about the program, we received 112 applications. 101 of them were individuals, and there were 11 existing startups. They went through a process of an online challenge, and then 10 made it through to the 8-week incubation program that was with us at Bahrain FinTech Bay. And now what you have here in front of you are the 5 amazing teams that had graduated from the program, and they're going to tell you all about their journey during the actual program and onwards. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Kunal Varma, who's the head of retail banking, Middle East at Standard Chartered. Hi, Kunal, how are you? I'll leave the floor to you to introduce the teams and to just give, start with the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's so nice to be here and see all of you. Very, very nice. First of all, I'd like to wish all of you a happy International Women's Day. It's a great pleasure and honor for me, at least, here moderating this session, right? And I'm sure there'll be a lot to learn here from you guys on your journey. So I'm very excited. As you know, International Women's Day is all to hear about women and how we can empower them and what has their journeys been. And this is what we will learn here today and for the people who are also listening in, right? The pandemic has forced us to think very, very differently. And most of us have gone through the ups and downs and obviously look to shift business models and try and ally some of the customer needs that we see. And I think you guys have done it beautifully, at least the winners that I've seen in front of me and the profiles that I see. So without much ado, I'd like to welcome all speakers and winners of the Standard Chartered Women in Technology and, crack on with the questions. The way I was thinking I would do this is, I'd just go around and, maybe put some of you on the hot spot and ask you guys about your business model. What are you guys up to? How is it moving? What inspired you and stuff like that. So if that's okay, I'm going to now start, right? So the first question is to Hanar, Ahmed, and Tala from Tripod. I would like to hear from you. What inspired you to start this business, and where did this idea come from? It's a super platform. I think agile working is at the front and center for every organization. So it'd be great to hear from you. What made you really come up with this, and how are you addressing client needs, and how do you intend to progress with this? So over to you guys.
Thank you, Kunal, for that wonderful introduction. So, we were definitely inspired pre-pandemic. Remote work, the trend of remote work has been increasing trend, and that goes back to even the World Economic Forum discussed that in 2000 and I believe 19. It was the topic of the future of work, and that leads to remote work, the flexible workforce, and as well as agility to transform into the 4th industrial revolution, which is what we are now in, and that is the digital transformational era. And so that's really what inspired us in the beginning, as well as we notice a lot of professionals from our personal networks have gone on to freelance, and these are people that have gone to the top schools in the world, great graduate schools, have worked in the largest brands globally, and we're like, okay, well, what they have left the workforce, but what are you doing? You're freelancing. How are you gaining business? So that was the aha moment, and that inspired Tripod, and we said, okay, well, it's now or never. And then of course, when COVID hit, we were like, all right, now it's time to really accelerate, because now is the time. It's either now or never, really. And that is really what inspired us, and it's really to help professionals as well as corporates, as well as small medium enterprises globally, to tap into quality talent and build their businesses while reducing overhead costs, and just still having fun and still and still doing business.
Look, it's superb, right? I mean, I think it is pertinent, it is timely, and I think with this backdrop of the pandemic, I think this form of a service, so to say, allows you to really collaborate and obviously manage costs, for at least the SMEs in a much, much better way. Now, how does this really pan out for you guys and how you build this out? I think that becomes extremely more critical. So the idea is great, and how do you really take it to market? And stuff like that. I think very nice, very good, Hannah. So I'm going to move on like this, and then we'll open it up, and we can obviously talk through. I'm going to go to Maha and Jane, right? And I want to ask you guys. I think the pop-up shop again. There is a lot of focus here regionally to build the platform and obviously push creators of handmade products, so to say. How has the Standard Chartered Women in Technology program help you realize your goals, and what is left to achieve? So what has it helped you with, and from a forward looking sense, what do you think you need to do, or what else is left to achieve? So over to you guys.
Maha, I'll let you say the first bit, and then I'll talk about now and the future.
Okay, sure. So the Standard Chartered Women in Tech program really helped us kind of speed up what we initially were thinking pre-pandemic, which was to build this platform for designers from all across the Middle East. But then we kind of, before the program, we were struggling with how to do it. And then through the program, it kind of just put everything in place for us, and it made everything make sense. It kind of directed us in the right ways. It put us through with the right kind of mentors that we needed to get this going. And then very quickly, we managed to build the entire platform. Even while we were doing the part of the incubation program, we were getting things done very, very quickly. So it was very, very helpful in that sense.
Yeah, so just to continue on what Maha said, originally the concept was derived from what was known as Bahrain Pop-Up Market, which is a multi-vendor outdoor marketplace. And evidently because of COVID, not only was the business impacted, but a lot of local businesses that we support. So we really wanted to tap into a market, not only to provide a service to people who perhaps are looking for a gift, and we do offer same-day delivery. So we really wanted to provide that service not only for our customers, but also for our vendors and our brands. And talking about where we stand now and where we're evolving with that, we've got a lot of interest across the GCC, and we're forever onboarding vendors. And nothing seems to be static. So I feel as though SC Women in Tech has sort of enabled us to, it's put a fire under us to always strive for the next step and to always look at ways that we can improve, because the business model that we started when we made our initial pitch to where we are now is completely different. So we're in a position now that we're onboarding additional vendors, and bearing in mind products on our site vary from 2 BD to 5,000 BD. So there really is something for everyone, and people are getting really excited about it. And of course, Maha and I are. And I just think the program just really allowed Maha and I to discuss what our strengths and weaknesses are. And there's no shame in saying that you're unable to do something and delegating it to the other person. So I feel like SC Women in Tech has provided itself as a crutch to the processes and our working relationship as a whole. And luckily we're thriving, and hopefully in the next few months, we're looking at opening a concept store where we can host a showroom and go across the GCC to promote the vendors on our website, on so it's sort of integrating what we used to do, what we're now doing, and where we can go going forward. And yeah, we want to thank SC Women in Tech, Standard Chartered Bank, and the Supreme Council for Women for just empowering us and what a day to talk about it. Thank you.
Great to hear. Amazing to hear. I think, again, forward looking, I had two more questions and maybe they were follow-ons and you could really touch on them really quickly. One from a target market perspective, because when you're buying stuff like this, and at least for the the high-end stuff, anything above 100, 200, 500 BD, how do you really, orchestrate that from a sales process, from a client process? I think that's one thing. And two, yes, are you going to do a hybrid model, get into physical as well as digital, so to say, or that I think that you touched upon. So over to you, maybe really quickly, you could touch upon those two questions.
Yes, so first of all, just sort of managing the sort of customer service element of it. I must admit, I don't know how Maha and I have hair on our head left, because like as far as like delivery is concerned, there is so many pitfalls that I feel that in the GCC that we can evidently improve on. I'm someone who wants everything done yesterday and I want it to a particular standard. I'm a good control freak. So what Maha and I have been doing is quality controlling all of our orders, which we want to do anyways, to ensure that, especially in the initial startup year, that everything has been done in accordance with what we deem as the message that we want to get out there. So what we've been doing as far as stock and everything, we have it in an isolated area. We package it, which extends that support local ethos, as well as that these are bespoke curated items that you can't necessarily get anywhere, or you're forever searching for it. We're providing people like a one-stop pop-up shop to go to. And yeah, moving on from that, we will expand our digital presence by moving into like an app, which is what we talked about during our pitch, is something that we see in the future. We've got some additional collaborations actually being looked upon across the pond, but we can't say too much about that yet. And yeah, we're looking at a concept store that can be deemed as a showroom, and we can host intimate events and maybe do designer trunk shows and things like that. So we love that we've been able to come from this program, and with the core components of what Bahrain Pop-Up Market started out as, to delve into the pop-up shop and just empower not only women, but other people, expats, locals across the GCC, to get the message out there. It's really good. Thank you.
Amazing. This is so nice to hear. And I think it's all apt, right? I think choking the path forward-looking becomes as critical as building the infrastructure, right? Because that decides how things will pan out. So well done to you, ladies. I think great stuff. I'm going to move on. So I'll go off to Ruby and Yuan. How did the pandemic impact your Rento? Your target market, and obviously how was the take up once launched, etc. So something about that would really be helpful. Over to you guys.
Hi, Kunal. So the COVID pandemic actually put a very positive impact, I would say. It encouraged landlords and property managers to see the need for digital transformation. Because for all this time, everything was being done on paper, everything was chaotic. And so now their eyes have opened and they were like, okay, so we could use this platform and, lessen the meetings that we have with our tenants, lessen the meetings that we have with other people, and just do everything on a singular platform. So it's really pushed us to add more features, to expand our horizons into what we want your renter to become. So yeah.
Which is good to hear, Ruby, which is very good to hear. And I think you're right? This all talks to the shift in the way clients want to deal with stuff, or even, how the landscape is changing, right? And addressing that becomes far more critical. So it's very good to hear. Very, very good to hear. I'll move on. I'll move to Shahid and Moyed. So where do you guys see yourself beyond this program, right? I think VR is the thing. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone gets excited with it. I think it's the future, and that's why everything is moving towards. The whole virtual space is exciting. So where do you see yourself beyond this program, and what are your thoughts around that? I think that will be a critical one to answer. Over to you.
Okay. Okay, so basically when we entered the program, when we started the whole concept of Mavi VR Studio, in the beginning, our concept was only to provide it to architecture and interior design offices, because we're both architect by degree and we worked in architectural offices. So we knew they're missing something. They're still doing the 3D and 2D, and this could be sort of like a plus to their clients. But then after the program and the pandemic, something that was, I think it's a positive to our concept, that the real estate market changed. Now there's a lot of, let's say, supply from real estate market. A lot of people are trying to sell properties. And due to the pandemic, you can't go physically. So this is where we come in and solve the problem. And this is what we've been trying to do since we graduated from the program. We're getting in touch with real estate agencies to give them our services by producing content that can help them sell basically their units without having people physically to come and see it. Because we'll just develop for them a VR walkthrough and then they could see the whole facility without coming in. So we expanded to a new market. We're trying to test. Our whole goal in the upcoming couple of years is try to test how we can use the technology in other services, not just real estate or engineering, but we're exploring ways of how to use it for industrial training as well. So in factories, we were looking to work with companies like such as Elba in Bahrain, because they have a huge unit and they do a lot of trainings every single year. So we're going to help them how to use not VR, but AR simulations for their training.
So you're really forward integrating this whole piece, right? Using technology as the what do you say, as the foundation, and then building it not just to create VR for for real estate, but really broad. And this can get plugged. I mean, I think you're so right. It can really get plugged into various industries, and there is quite a reach to this. So I think this is well known, and I congratulate you for this. Right? It's very
Thank you.
So I'll move on. Amy and Priyesh, Gold Souk.
Hi.
Very relevant. And I think how did the program help you take off? And what do you see as challenges? Because the rates do fluctuate, and it's linked to market. So how do you see that, right? So I think two parts of my question: how did the program help you, and what are you seeing forward looking, and how will you hedge that bet, so to say?
Kunal, I really cannot thank the program and everybody who put it together enough, because we really wouldn't be where we are today without it. It was just an idea. It was my brother's idea, actually. And the program was a kind of a very safe space for us to test the idea, to speak with people that have a lot of experience in these matters, and to bounce ideas off of them. And because of them, we were able to really, really refine what our business idea would be. So when we started, we were looking to be like a multi-vendor platform, just like Amazon, but for jewelry, like helping the retailers to just come online, basically. But by the time that we had graduated from the program, we had done so much work, we'd received such high quality training that we completely pivoted, and we realized that we should be sourcing the jewelry from the factories, not from retailers. So we would be helping a different part of the market, but we would be helping the consumers for sure, because they would get better prices. So that really, really gave us a lot of confidence, and we've made so much progress since then. In terms of challenges, your question is about what are the challenges in our business? Yeah, so the one real big challenge is when you're selling gold online, which the region hasn't seen it before, people can't touch it. There is that thing to overcome, So we're thankful for the Bahrain government for setting up such a strong infrastructure, because all of the quality control is done by the government. So the jewelry is all stamped with the same quality stamps that you would find in the market. Our diamond jewelry, pearl jewelry is being supplied with certificates that come from Danat, which is again the Bahrain government initiative to bring the Gemological Institute of America to Bahrain. So that has really helped us with that confidence thing. So the other real big issue is just getting sizing and things like that right. That's why we've been trying to focus on products like necklaces or earrings, which don't need sizes, like rings, for example. So we'll get there, but we're trying with what we can for now.
I think very well said, right? I think accepting that there are certain challenges and then forward looking to solve for them, I think becomes the most critical piece, right? And if you can appreciate and that there is this challenge of sizing and you've come this long, I'm sure you'll find a way of how to virtually design sizes for people and then send exactly what they really need. So this is very good, very, very, very good and nice to hear.
And one more part of your question was about the gold rate changes. For that, I have to thank my brother because of his background in coding. He put a piece of code on our website which allows all of our prices to float automatically with a gold rate pulled from the London Metal Exchange every hour. So this is actually more sophisticated than you would find in a shop.
Very good, very good. Because I was saying otherwise you will be carrying the risk at the last mile. Exactly. You don't want to be carrying that risk of the price movement, right? So exactly. I think this is a very smart thing. So very, very good to hear. So you've covered all your bases and I wish you all the best. Yeah, that's all I can say. I was thinking I'm going to open this up with a little more generic questions, and I'm seeing some questions pop up on the chat at the bottom as well. Not really following them, but I know they are coming through. Just to all panelists, and we can decide how to go. We could go starting with the tripod team to answer this and then come all the way down the way we just did this. It's a question where I would like to understand. One, obviously, the SC Women in Tech has really helped, and I understand that, given a platform. But I think all of this becomes about, how do you really capitalize and how do you move beyond the program? So, I would just want to understand from you, and maybe Hana, yourself, Emma, Tala, how do you see yourself and your journey beyond all of this, right? So what is the vision? Where do you want to take Tripod to? And how are you executing to that? I think that becomes more pertinent.
So I'll start it, and then Ahmed and Tala chime in, please, whenever. So the Standard Chartered and Women in Tech program, it really helped us accelerate our go-to-market approach. Our first thing was, hey, we have to build a platform. We can't do it without the platform. Well, no, actually, guess what? Let's take it one step back. Tripod is live right now. We are currently connecting quality freelancers with corporates and SMEs, as well as semi-government entities, both in Bahrain as well as in the MENA region. So that's how we've kind of pivoted our strategy. And so we are live. We are still building our platform. That is in the works. That should be ready in a few months. I can't put exactly a date on it, but it's there. And so where we intend to see it, we are right now focusing on MENA clients, but global talent. And we're focused on three industries, what we call pods. So tribe is you creating your team, and that is your tribe. And the pods are the different industries. So we're currently focusing on the creative and design, marketing and communication, and web, software, and mobile development, which we see as a huge gap, the latter, a huge gap in the GCC market, where a lot of companies need mobile development. They need web development as well as app development. So we're stepping up. And these are with quality developers from around the world. And so that's where we are currently. Of course, we see this beyond the MENA borders. We see this tapping into Europe, hopefully one day, and also tapping into different regions in the near future. So Ahmed and Tala, do you guys want to chime in?
I think maybe just a few points from me. We came to the program with an idea, and we came out with a lot of experience out of that, with a lot of kind of connections as well. Logically, a lot of people think, well, the next step would be for you to kind of raise capital from venture capital, firms out there. Well, the reality is we're too early stage for a lot of people out there. We've spoken to a lot of VCs. Everybody wants, seed or later. And so we're in that kind of like position between kind of pre-seed and seed. And so all we really had to do is kind of go out and build traction. And building traction off of a platform that wasn't ready yet was hard to kind of develop and imagine. So what we did is we kind of did it, off kind of like platform, and we started onboarding both talent and corporate. And we always said, how is this platform going to actually kind of grow? Who do we start with? And it's like the chicken or the egg. But hopefully, once we had, we onboarded a lot of kind of creatives on there, and we picked up our first client. A lot just kind of came in. I mean, I'm humbled by the types of clients that we're kind of getting. We're getting major kind of clients out there, and for a small kind of platform out there that's done this, it's been really humbling. And we're continuing the journey, and we treat SMEs and government institutions alike. Everyone's a client, and we just want to make everybody have access to the right people out there.
Very good. Tala, do you want to come in for some?
Sure, of course. I mean, I think to touch on your point about how we see ourselves in the future, we don't see borders, we don't see geographical lines. The way that the world is working nowadays is by time zone. So really, the world is our oyster. And as Ahmed was saying, onboarding 1, 2, 3 big clients really opened our eyes to see and recognize the fact that people are just needing that middleman to tell them, oh, yes, there's a team here that we can connect you with. Boom, and they're off, and they're successful, and they're running things to completion perfectly. So it's allowed us to really let go of a lot of the anxieties that we had that we had put up for ourselves. But being part of the Women in Tech program really allowed us to remove that wall brick by brick and understand that, we're providing a service here, and it's a fun service, and it's an interesting industry, and it's an interesting region. And marrying all of those aspects together has been super fruitful. And it's really all thanks to this program, who allowed us to pivot our perspective and see our strategy from a different point of view.
So apt. Everything that you guys have just said, right, between Hana, Ahmed, and Tala, I think it's so apt, right? I think putting the plan and executing to the plan becomes the most critical thing, right? And we can always argue about the chicken and the egg and pre-seed or just getting to seed. That'll always be the case, right? I think once you get it off the ground, you see success and you see there is a need that is being addressed. I think that's the biggest joy. And I think well done to the three of you. I think it's brilliant. It's really superb to hear. I'm going to move to Maha and Jane then. Maha and Jane, same question. Over to you guys, your take and where do you see this going?
I think I touched on it a lot when you first asked me, but that's just because I'm being overly eager. So Maha, if there's anything you'd like to add based on what I'd originally said.
Sure. So I think what we're seeing right now is that we're actually signing some really big names in the fashion industry, which is not something that we anticipated in the beginning. I'm really happy with the quality of the products that we're onboarding onto our website. I'm really excited about the future collaborations that we're working on with different fashion designers and jewelry designers across the region. So I do feel like we are also constantly evolving our idea, and we're becoming more and more smart about the ways that we differentiate ourselves from other platforms that are similar to ours.
I think, learning to evolve becomes a very critical metric for success. I would see it that way, right? And I think if you keep evolving and you keep building, and therefore the core remains the same, but you build, I think I guess you guys are doing that well, and it's showing early results. So congratulations, and I wish you all the best, right? Ruby, Joan, to you guys.
Yeah, so we are going to launch hopefully by next week once we get everything down and sorted. And where we see the platform going is just to help a lot of these individuals, individual landlords. It can be a guy that has one building, or a corporation that has like a few more buildings, just to help them digitize their business. And we have I'm very blessed to have a really great co-founder with me. He's an amazing CTO. And we've always want to introduce features that are sort of different than everything else, like hopefully soon I can probably collaborate with Shahad here with her amazing VR, and then get it on the platform. We could partner up somehow. It's one of our plans. Apart from that, also to incorporate leasing in a different way, and maybe introduce AI in there somewhere, somehow. Make it more advanced, for property managers and landlords.
Great to hear, Ruby. And I think you're right. Yeah, it allows you all to cross-pollinate services amongst each other. I think that's what the platform also offers, right? And I think that's the beauty of this platform. So I'll move on. Thanks. Yeah, Shahad and Moya, from you guys.
I think we touched upon it a little bit. Is we're trying to explore what other industries could benefit from the software that we have. We noticed last year that some schools in Bahrain used VR actually for education, and some schools currently are using VR for some subjects. So we're just trying to explore not just VR, but AR. What are the other industries we could tap into that we could help them, especially through the pandemic? Recently, some restaurants are actually using AR to showcase their menus in Bahrain. So this could be something. So I think we're just taking a learning experience. Maybe Moayed could talk more on perspective of, he's our developer. So we're trying to even educate and train on new skills on how to utilize it in other industries. Maybe Moayed, do you want to add towards the technical part? Because we recently also introduced 360 shooting.
Yeah, thank you, Shad. And also, yeah, I think one of the things that we want to focus on in the coming period is that currently VR is a new thing for some people. It's like we're trying to introduce the VR, the idea to the market, to make it like a normal thing. Because at the beginning, phones started as just an idea, and people just later on started just using it for daily life. And and VR is going to follow that road and coming to, I think, by maximum expected in the maximum 5 years, it will be like a normal thing. Everyone will be using VR in their daily life. And yeah, I think that's for it.
No, absolutely. I think absolutely. That this is the future. Anything of the future takes a little time for people to really get embedded to and understand. So I think stay the course, guys. Stay the course. I think it's great to hear from you. But stay the course, and I wish you all the luck. I'll move to Amy and Priyesh.
Right, Kunal, so for future plans, well, we've been at the MVP stage as of now, where we were doing business with first and second degree connections and through our Instagram. So one immediate milestone for us is to actually open up this to the general public through our website. So we're just waiting to get our paperwork in order for that. Going forward, we realized that it would be ideal if we could onboard manufacturing capacity in Saudi, because that is an important market that we're looking at. And exporting gold and diamonds across an international border like that, we tried it because we had customers in Saudi, and I think it costed us like 2 months of our life to get a package over there. So so I know where Jane is coming from when she talks about like logistics. So we realized that it would then be local manufacture, and we would be able to find local manufacturers there that we could onboard. So that's something we're looking forward to in the future.
Great, yeah. I think this is superb. I guess I've learned a lot from you guys sitting here on the panel. how to be innovative, how to solve for needs, and really, stay the course and go after it. And well done to all of you. Congratulations. I'm wishing all the women once again a very happy International Women's Day. And maybe Susie, over to you. I have no more questions unless they have any questions, or you want to go to the chat and answer some questions there. We
Yeah,
could do it.
The chat was quite interesting. It was mainly from VC that's getting in touch with them, asking them a little more about themselves. So there's no any kind of particular questions, I think, that have come through. But thanks again for for being there, the audience for being there. From our side, I think there are no questions, but from what I see, but we're very proud of this project. We were super thrilled to have taken this on, and we're proud of you guys to see all your achievements, and just keep going strong. And we're always there to support. And our Standard Chartered, thanks Kunal as well for supporting the teams and actually arranging this day where we're celebrating women, but we're celebrating all these achievements that are happening this year. And we're really looking forward to the next cohort that's hopefully coming up soon, and to promoting Bahraini women and residents as well as our men, of course, in Bahrain with their startups and their solutions. So from my side, thank you very much for everything. I don't know if anyone else has anything to say to the audience or anything. So Kunal, I'll leave the last words with you.
I would echo what you just said. More power to all of you. Do well, stay the course, and we look forward to hear of great things from all the companies that we're seeing right now. Engage and interact and learn. I think that's all I'll say before I sign out. And good luck and God bless. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Take care.